When you're on a journey to level up and change your life, there is one thing that people often overlook until it's too late, and that is your circle and the people that you have around. The people that you spend the most time with have a huge impact on your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors, your mindset, your habits, all the things. So, I'm going to tell you guys six types of people that you need to avoid when you are trying to level up. And really, it's not types of people, it's more so like avoid these traits in people if they're in your circle. Well, no, how should I word it? Avoid these traits. Avoid people who have these traits. There you go. So if the people in your circle have some of these traits, you need to limit your contact with them, limit your outing / physical environment-ish of them. So like if they live with you, or if like you work with them, or if they're like family or whatever, like it will probably be a little bit harder to really avoid them. So I'm just going to make you guys aware of it. That way you can be very strong with your boundaries, and also like you are continuing to check yourself when you are around these people. I'm going to try not to make this video really long-winded because we're just going to get straight to the point. If you're new here, my name is Amari Khalid. I'm 25 and I post content about wellness, mindset, self-development, mental health. That's my thing. So if that's the type of content you want to see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So I have a list because y'all know I like to be prepared, and I actually think about what I'm going to say because I'm very intentional with a lot of things in my life. And these are all things that I saw in people in my circle. Anytime I tell you guys something, it's something that I have personally experienced. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the first type of person that you need to avoid when you're trying to level up and change your life is people who consistently complain about things that they have control over. So one thing I can't stand is a complainer. And complaining can be something as simple as you and a coworker at work, and they're constantly saying that they're tired, or they're ready to go home, or they want to quit the job, or whatever pertaining to the job that's negative. When you're around people who are always complaining, and what makes it worse is when they complain about things that they can't change or control, it is just really bad energy, really bad vibes, and it will have an impact on you when you don't know it. But before I get into any other things, what I want to say is that the reason why you want to avoid certain things that people do or say is because other people and thoughts, period, are just very strong. They are so strong and they have a huge impact on you, and you don't even realize it until you really become aware of it. So like when someone complains at work and say like, I'm tired, you will unconsciously say like, I'm tired too. And you may not even be tired, or like it will make you tired because that person just said that they're tired, and now you're operating in that energy. And one example I can give is like if a coworker says like they want to quit their job or something bad about the job, and I'm not even seeing those bad things, it will unconsciously make me feel like, yeah, like, you know, they really do suck at this, so maybe I should quit. And you actually had no intentions with quitting. Like the job is working out for you and your schedule and whatever your goals are, and you cool, you chilling. So when I talk about these different things in this video, just know that like other people have a lot of power over you and you don't even realize it. And so you just want to be aware of these things so that you can limit your contact with them and how much you spend time with them, because it will have an impact on the actions that you do or don't take. So yeah, people who complain all the time about things that they have control over. And the reason why you want to stay away from those type of people is because they are not taking action. And since you are trying to level up, you are somebody who's wanting to take action. First of all, it's already not a good thing to complain a lot, because usually that means that you're super ungrateful. You're probably a huge procrastinator or lazy, and you are not taking accountability for your life and the things that you can control. So that's already something that is an issue. But then when you add on the fact that they don't want to like change the things that they're complaining about, or they're not putting any action behind it, they're really just being annoying and they're just giving off bad vibes because it's more comfortable to do that than to actually change. So yeah, avoid people who are consistently complaining about things that they definitely have control over and can actually change in their life. Okay, this is a big one. People who are male or female centered. So men who are women centered and women who are male centered. And that is mostly because those people are always doing things and saying things to get attention from those type of people, and they're always trying to do things to be in the same environment as whoever they're trying to attract, whether that's going to the club or like posting certain type of pictures on Instagram because you want a certain somebody to like or comment on it or DM you, and because that's all they're talking about, and because 9 times out of 10 they don't have good morals when it comes to how to operate when it comes to relationships. And if you're somebody who's trying to level up and change your life, and maybe you are somebody who is trying to find your future wife or future husband, then you need to not be around people who are like so overly focused on it, because most of the time the actions that they have behind that are not intentional, they are not genuine, and honestly it's just very annoying. Like, when you're trying to elevate in life, you need to be focused on whatever your goals are or whatever God has planned for your life. But if you're like around people who are like only wanting to do things, if like for women example, like you and a girlfriend, like she only wants to hang out if men are going to be there, or she only wants to go to the club because she's looking for a guy, like that's really annoying, and it's very immature, and it's just not giving husband/wife material. So stay away from people who are obsessed with the opposite sex and that is all they care about, and that is the only reason why they do certain things in their life, because they are trying to get attention from the opposite sex. You're on a journey to have healthy relationships. You're on a journey to reach your goals and be successful and inspire others. You don't have time to mingle with people who are only doing things to get a certain somebody. Okay, the next type of person that you need to avoid while you're on this level up journey is people who are irresponsible, who are always late, and they don't usually follow through with what they say. Like I said, when you're hanging around or consistently talking to a certain type of person, so somebody who's always late, but you're somebody who wants to learn how to be on time, it's just not in alignment. And people who are usually very irresponsible, there's usually an underlying issue that they're not addressing, and it's not on you to figure that out, but at the same time, you need to be very intentional about who you have in your circle. You want to be around people who are responsible, who get things done, who follows through with what they say, who shows up early or on time. When you are around people who don't have the same values as you, when it comes to professionalism, work, career, even like in relationships, if they're not following through or they're not motivating you to follow through with whatever you have planned, once again, you're just not in alignment. So you want to be around people who are aligned with whatever you're trying to do in life, at least when it comes to like your innermost circle. So if you, like, I have family members who are always late. I know not to ride with them because they're going to be late, and I'm the type of person I like to be early or on time. You don't want to be around people who are irresponsible because they're not going to motivate you to get things done. If you tell them like you got to go to, complete something by the end of the month, they're not really going to be asking you like, hey girl, like, did you finish that goal? Or, have you started working on it? Nor are they going to really motivate you to complete whatever the task is. They may even like, girl, you don't need to worry about that right now. Or you got plenty of time to worry about that, or what is the whole thing about being late, fashionably late? I think it's just rude. I actually think that people who are always late are a little bit narcissistic, because they think that what they have going on is more important than the other person and they want to be the center of attention, but that's a whole nother conversation. So yeah, don't be around people who are not responsible with their own life, very chaotic, very just messy, and they are not someone who cares a lot about their time or their responsibilities. Okay, this one is a huge one for me. Avoid people who overly indulge in vices. So when I say vices, I'm specifically talking about alcohol, drugs, clubbing, TV shows, eating, whatever. Because, okay, let's look up what a vice is to be exact. A vice is technically immoral or wicked behavior. It also says criminal activity involving a few things that I'm not going to mention on YouTube. It also says a vice is a negative character trait, habit, or practice that is considered morally wrong or a weakness like greed, envy, or excessive drinking. Once again, if you're somebody who is trying to elevate their life, you're trying to take your life to the next level, you want to let go of old habits and bring on some new habits to make a lifestyle. You do not want to be around people who overly indulge in things such as alcohol, who always want to party, who maybe their intentions are not to eat healthy the way yours is, so they're more so like, let's go eat here, and it's always something that's super unhealthy. They don't care about what goes into their bodies. Maybe like they overly indulge in TV shows, so they always want to talk to you about this new reality TV show that's coming out because they use it as an escape from their responsibilities or whatever's going on in their personal lives. You just want to avoid people who are not aligned when it comes to their hobbies or how they spend their time when they're not at work. And that's just very important, because if you are, for example, trying to stop drinking, one of the biggest influences for drinking is probably the people that are around you. You know, those people that are always only calling you when it's about getting lit and hanging out, or when they come to your house, they're bringing a bottle, or when you go to their house, they're always engaging in some type of substance that you are not trying to be around. You don't want to be around those people a lot, because it's just a bad influence, and it's just not, once again, in alignment with what you're trying to do. The moral of this whole thing is like, you want to be in alignment. And unfortunately, the people that you are around have a huge impact on that, and they need to be in alignment with you. I'm not saying 100% that y'all have to be doing the same thing, but they should be doing some of the similar things or going into the same direction. So when you see millionaires and billionaires, they're not hanging around people who are excessive drinkers, always partying, sleeping with this person and that person. Like, people who are very serious about their craft or their career or their families, they're not doing certain things. So why would you put yourself around those type of people? The thing is, other people, like I've been saying throughout this whole video, have a huge impact on your energy, and you have to really take it seriously. So especially when it comes to vices, because those things are so addictive and they're very strong, you want to limit your time with people who are overly indulging in it, because you just want to build a stronger mind, a stronger resistance towards it. And basically the only way to do it is to not have it, to not do it, and not be around it. So yeah, limit contact and association with people who are overly indulging in vices. And it's not your job to get them to heal or change. You know, if they want to keep doing it, that's on them. But for you, it's time for you to move away from them and take yourself to the next level. Next one, limit and avoid people who gossip a lot and are always in a lot of drama. That is really needless to say. But if you have certain people in your life where the only time y'all talk is about drama or gossip, even if it's family gossip, like, you need to avoid those type of people while you're on this journey to level up. And you need to have strong boundaries with them. You know, it's going to have to get to a point where you tell them, like, honestly, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear what he's doing, what she's doing. Honestly, like, that has nothing to do with me. Or, hey, let me call you back, and then you never call them back. Like, just find nice ways to kind of like change the conversation, or just in the conversation, and they'll eventually catch on, like, oh yeah, she don't want to talk about so-and-so no more. She don't want to talk about this anymore. Like, she's on to a whole nother level. They may not even notice that you're on a whole nother level, but you're going to have to let them know that you don't want to gossip, especially if it's something that you used to do with a certain person, and that's something that I have experienced. So yeah, limit conversations and time with people who love to gossip, who love to be in drama, because you don't need that extra chaos and baggage in your life. You spend a lot of energy on that stuff. And listen, your energy is very important. It's sacred. all you have is time, all you have is now, every moment matters. So if you're spending a lot of your time talking about what other people are doing, you're just taking more and more away from yourself and what you could be doing to better your life. So yes, avoid people who overly gossip and are always in drama. You don't need that extra chaos in your life. Okay, if I had to rank all of these on importance, I would say this is number one, and this is going to be the last one. Avoid people who are pessimistic, always having a negative response, and they are not solution based. And this kind of ties into the first one when I said people who always complain about things that they have no control over. But when I say people who are pessimistic, I mean people who are always seeing the bad in everything, who are always having a negative response to something. So like, say for instance, you tell your friend about a new idea and the first thing they do is tell you what could go wrong. The first thing they say is, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should do that. You know, they're always knocking down what you're trying to do to better yourself or to change your circumstances. And it doesn't even have to be towards you. It could be towards their own life. So like, I have a friend, like I'm always kind of like giving her some gems about, you know, how she could do things differently, or like, you know, things that she could change about her life, or just little things for her to get out of her comfort zone. And most of the time she always tells me something that is fear-based and it's just always negative. And so now I'm at the point where I don't do it anymore, you know. If she wants advice, I'll give it, but I don't just give my unsolicited opinion about things or just try to give her good advice in general, because it's always thrown back with a negative response. You don't want to be around those people because you're at a crucial point in your life when you are trying to change and elevate. It's really hard because your brain likes to be comfortable, so it will always try to seek that comfort. And so when you are in this stage of wanting to change your life, you need as least amount of negativity as possible. So you need to do more affirmations, and you need to be around people who are dreamers, who are chasing big things, who are trying to change and make big things happen, versus people who are having a poor mindset, who don't see the good in things, who are, you know, always negative, who are always complaining, and they are not trying to solve problems. I am a solution-based person. I've always said that. Like, my dad would tell you, like, I would go get 3 to 4 jobs before I ask him for money. Like, when I was in college, like, I literally had 3 jobs, like, all the time throughout my whole college experience, because I'm a solution-based person. I don't believe in allowing other people or making my problems somebody else's problems. So I always try to figure things out on my own, not to the sense of like overwhelming myself or not getting therapy or things like that, but just like everyday things. Like, I'm somebody who I do research. You know, if it's a financial thing, I'll go get another job. Like, that's just me. I'm a very solution-based person, and I think that everybody should be solution-based. So avoid people who are super pessimistic and who are just not doers. I'm a doer. I'm not somebody who just sit around and let things happen. I like to be in control, which can be a little bit to my detriment. I'm learning how to control it. But yeah, I like to make things happen. So stay away from people who don't like to make things happen, who are always looking for a problem and never looking for a solution. All right, so little recap. We kind of went over the type of people that you should avoid while you're on this level up journey. First of all, people who are over complainers about things that they have control over. Avoid people who are male or female centered. All they care about is being around and doing things for the opposite sex and never about how to better their own lives. People who are very irresponsible, they're always late, and they do not follow through with what they say they're going to do. Avoid people who overindulge in vices, whether that's drinking, and of course, whatever it is. Avoid people who overly indulge in those things. Avoid people who are always gossiping, always in drama, always in some mess, always having chaotic things going on in their relationships. And last but not least, avoid people who are very pessimistic. They have a negative mindset. They have a super fear-based mindset. It is not your job to heal other people unless it is your job. So If you want to better your life, you have to be intentional about your circle, the people you talk to on a daily basis, and the people you surround yourself with. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Comment below what you think about it, and I will see you guys in the next one.